internal national regulations, clinical studies, technical service, and the entire list are specifically chemistry, chemical industry, and formulation knowledge based. See now, I see the industries and institutions are separately working as a silos, but there may be a tie that is required to guide the students or preparing the students for taking the exam. So, industry and education, some of the activities we see, education, engineering colleges kind of industry, like I said, the IT companies, they give a training, they prepare a training and they absorb the as a employee. Such kind of things not present in the industry. This can be done by coordination between the institution and the company. So, company, the industry aims to acquire a desired knowledge industry, not the desired from the industry. That can be given by the, of course, in your curriculum development also can enhance the certificate and the students get the industry knowledge. Understand the needs and expectations of industry. To get a basic knowledge of industrial job. As I said, there are several jobs are available in the industries. Which job has to be lucrative they have to choose and the interest. And if you are working together, the students will get a placement wages. I think you know most of the institutions they have placement cells. So placement cell will work with the industries to understand their expectation and their trade. And not only that, see once placement happens, doesn't mean that people are happy as well as institutions are happy. To compete, once the skills and knowledge are available, they will do their job easily and good. Otherwise, they find difficulty and they will come out of the institutions. General overview, I talked about the industry requirements and the institutions. Now I go into detail of the chemical industry and pharmaceutical industry and the skill and technical knowledge required. Talk about Indian chemical industry is playing a major role in the development of Indian economy. Contribute significantly in terms of GDP as well as job creation. Indian industry, chemical industry accounts for approximately 7% of Indian GDP. It valued about 270 billion, that is 24 lakh crore, and growth is a CAGR growth rate of 8 to 10% and expected 380 billion by 2030. And the Indian chemical industry ranked 6th largest in the world and 3rd largest in Asia. And the 9th exporter, and also not only we are exporting, also we are exporting large quantity of chemicals from other countries, specifically China and Europe. They are 6th largest importer, and India producing for 80,000 chemicals and using as well as export. Broadly covers the chemical type of industry, the basic inorganic chemicals, organic chemicals produced in large quantity. I think you know, like soda ash, organic compounds, well-regulated compounds. The precursors, starting chemicals, which are useful in several industries. And petrochemicals, this is well known, polymers, plastics, and specialty chemicals. This is only application oriented, the performance chemicals. And also one of the other prominent industries, agrochemicals, that is pesticide, fertilizer, and other growth chemicals. Dyes and pigments, paints and varnishes, soap, perfumes, personal care, and also in general, even Indian industry or Indian industry separates the chemical industry from pharmaceutical industry. So, when we are talking about chemical industry, pharmaceutical is separately divided, that is the pharmaceutical industry. This is a growth graph of chemical industries, petrochemicals, and also the environment statistics. Around 9 million people are working. That means 90 lakh people are working in chemical. Other than pharma. What's the pharma industry? It is one of the growing industries as like IT companies. The fast growth as well as strong economy, and this is basically knowledge-based industry. All what we talk about IT, all knowledge-based. Similarly, pharmacy is also knowledge-based. Knowledge-based. India manufactures the quality medicines with less cost compared to any other country. That is the reason we are growing very fast as well as strong growth. Indian pharma company manufacturing the market size is about 55 billion, that's 4.8 lakh crore, and they expected to grow by 125 billion, that is almost more than twice by 2030. They are exporting 30 billion, 2.64 lakh crores to the entire world. More than 200 countries are supplying exporting our product. India is the third largest in the world by volume and 30th largest by in terms of money economy. And they expected to grow and reach India will be the first country or first place by 2030. This is predicted by experts. The growth is around 10 to 15%. Normally the global is less than 8%. If you go to the details about the pharma company manufacturing low cost and emerging medicines, totally about 10,500 companies in India. There are around 400 to 500 companies are all these sectors. Standard, this means very structured companies. That was medium and large companies. Total employment in the pharma industry is about around 30 lakhs. Pharma is located mostly in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, and selected other states. Supplies 60% of global requirement of vaccines produced in India, and 80% of antiretroviral drugs supplied by WHO program by India, and 20% of global generics. That means any medicine global takes in the world, at least 5 in one of the medicines is manufactured in India. What is the great we are talking about Indian industry? What is the necessary? Yes, the Indian pharma company industries are, there is a lot of advantages which we have potential to grow further. That's why we are going to be number one in 2030. We have strong R&D expertise and by reverse engineering. Something we are covered by a patent issues. We cannot manufacture the regulatory product which is near first invented by some company or new product. So it's covered by patent issue, product process patent. So we cannot make and sell. But after patent expires, most of Indian companies are first companies in the world to reverse engineering by product process patent expires service. We make a new process and supply. We get the exclusivity. And US FDA and UAM regulatory compliance is more in Indian companies. If you see US FDA is US Food and Drug Administration. They are the regulatory authorities. Whatever we supply in it is not like chemical is not selling to any country. We have to cover bound by the regulations. We have to follow the regulations. They will come and inspect our facilities and quality. Then they will do approval. If they are not satisfied, they will reject the facility. We cannot supply the to US. They are one of the stringent regulatory body in the world. If you see US FDA as well EDTA and also WHO is from Geneva, they are the regulatory bodies inspected in our Indian facilities 750 to 2000 facilities was approved by regulators in India, which is highest number in many of the countries in the world, other than the world country. If you see US is the facility, in Europe also we don't have that much, maybe 100 companies, but in India some of the 50 companies, they are approved for supplying to the manufacturing years. Another advantage is develop the skilled talents and workforces, and also we are putting IT, digital technology, and we have a lot of patents. 64,480 patents we are filing, and it is the sixth in the global. What are types of jobs we are expecting in chemical as well as pharmaceutical? The professional available is business development, that means to get into business, marketing and sales, manufacturing or production, research and development, that the synthesis, that is new development of chemicals or analytical methods, development and validation, quality control professionals and quality assurance professionals, and regulatory affairs and intellectual property rights, safety professionals, testing in commercial laboratories, and environment management. These are the various area fields available for taking the job in industries by students. The type of industry or pharmaceutical industry, the demand and skilled professional in drug discovery, that is inventing new chemicals, process development, analytical research, the method development. Once we develop a chemical, you have to test out the new chemical and purity or impurity. So analytical is also very important, and going along with the process development or research, quality and regulatory. In food and beverage industries, manufacturing, quality, safety, and formulation. Similar in a cosmetic industry, environment is another area where we have to learn how to control the pollution, minimize the waste, and also safety. Chemicals and pharmaceuticals, operational, that is unit operations, testing, and another area of clinical research is more of chemistry as well as not only chemistry, biotechnology, biochemistry professionals, and medical. In addition to that, you know the hospitals are involved in clinical research. So all other cross-functional departments are involved in the clinical research. These are part of the discovery process. To launch the product, they have to work for at least minimum 8 to 12 years to create a new product. It is not one product coming in one day or 1 year. They have to work at least minimum 5 years to 10 years to develop a new product. If you want, you can see later. Just as it is part of the discussion. To take up the job, as I said, research and development, quality and regulatory and other professionals. What is needed to get a job or excel in the field? This is one of the lucrative, very important as well as knowledge based is research and development. That the people need knowledge and skill in synthesis organic reactions, so that they can develop a new process, get a new chemicals, invent new chemicals. These are all the chemicals as we said. See, once you see that, see, to get a one drug, they have to work with the 1,000 to 10,000 chemicals. They have to develop. Then it goes for discovery, biochemicals. Then clinical it goes to 10 to 120. For statistics, preclinical. Clinical success will be only 3, and finally get approval only 1 drug, which will be This is a part. So to work to one product, we have to work at least more than 2 years. New chemicals. We have to develop, we have to invent new chemicals. That is a part. So to work with the custom synthesis of new chemicals, they are organized with organic reactions. That comes the process synthesis. Okay, synthesis it's available in all research institutes. As I said, there are 16,000 patents. Are we using all 16,000 patents for commercial use? Hardly few. To get that, the professionals work to make an optimized process, viable process. So this can be commercial captive. Otherwise, it is only in the paper. The research work in the paper, it will not be usable. So the research professional should understand the chemistry, work on the chemicals to make a novel process commercially viable. And they should understand thermochemistry, what is the reaction, heat energy comes out, what is the consumption required for thermochemistry, kinetics, structure adaptation. Once we make some chemicals, how will you know the structure? I think you know very well how struggle to get a basic structure. If people will be knowing chemistry program. It's not so easy to identify the structure. So this again one of the research areas to illustrate the structure. That paper is just and develop an analytical method to test the synthetic chemicals. And if as like what is the process chemistry, the analytical method also is easy to use affordable testing cost. So these are skills required in a research and development area. If you want any questions, you can start. Then comes the manufacturing or production in chemical. Here, the knowledge is required is a technology transfer, of course. See, R&D professionals, they are doing in the class, they make 1 gram, 200 gram. How do you commercialize in a kilos and tons? That is a challenge. So the people must have knowledge to scale up. The technology developed in R&D to take the commercial scale. So that is what is what we see in the class to visualize what is to be done in the reactor. Reactor is like 1,000 liters to 50,000 liters reactor speed. There we have the analytical, the photo process, and we have to make a successful product. That is technology transfer. And production, chemical reaction is after they should go so that they should not make accidents. Then handling of chemicals and good operation like reaction, distillation, filtration, drying, blending, formulation. This is the production skills. Then quality skills. The quality system. The person should understand the quality system. How we have to make structure without failure. System has to be established, and in the pharma industry, is one of the important things is good manufacturing practice. There is a regulation. We have to follow regulations. We cannot make a chemical. Chemical we make something and we can, if the failure we can do and rectify. But in chemical, the pharma industry we cannot do like that. Once you make it, then something happens. You have to investigate, see that whether it's working or not, something like that. We are making a product, it fails. Before coming to the commercialization, they check the stability. The product is stable for particular temperature or something. Suppose they do the work or the process. Whether you will not remind whether the product is stable or particular period. So these also to be ensured. So they wanted to ensure that good manufacturing practice in terms of discipline. What kind of safety garments has to be used, how the area to be maintained. It's not like the area has to be maintained clean room. We probably will see that they have used head caps and the cloning and the area to be protected. These are certain these are there. You can't handle it in the say like cancer, you can't handle in hand or in exposure. So that's the biocontaminants you have to handle the rumors from using like rumors. So we cannot have any contact of chemicals in face to face or in exposure. So we have to have a maximum care. And documents. Each activity, whatever you are doing, you have to document, you have to write on time. It's not like you are doing an activity or function, then I do later. That's not, they will say as an integrity. Regulators do not accept that. Whatever you are doing, you have to write immediately the same data without having manipulation. That is the kind of documentation expected by the regulatory agencies and rules and regulations as per exporting countries. If you want to export US, you have to follow US regulations. Want to export European countries, want to follow European regulations. So Japanese force in there. So each country has own law. So the rules and regulations to be understood by the quality assurance personnel. They are like a watching. So they are watching every activities the people are doing, like research people doing perfectly, manufacturing people perfectly, quality testing person doing perfectly. They are assuring the quality of the products. And regulatory inspections and approvals. As I said, the regulatory agencies are government body from US. They come and verify what they are doing is correct without any what I can say contamination or fraudulent activity. They will check. After checking, they will approve, then only they will supply. So this quality department is playing a very important role, and regulatory department playing a role driven of the business or export. Another area is quality control, testing of chemicals or formulated products. There, they require testing knowledge, like a quantitative analysis, quality analysis, chemical properties, spectroscopy, more detail of this. See, once you make a product, how do you ensure that product is? I think maybe recently or aware. What happened in from Madhya Pradesh, some students? Yeah. What is the? Yeah. What happened? Yes, this was the problem happened if you are not following problem. That company was not inspected by none of the regulatory agencies, including the Indian regulatory agencies. They said 7 years, no government officials went to the factory and see what they are doing. That's what happened. Finally, the chemical what they use for diluting the cough medicine, they are using propylene glycol. That contains normally diethylene glycol, which is poisonous. Like we also know alcohol. If ethyl alcohol people are drinking in a medicine as well as some other drugs. If it is methanol, what will happen? I think what happened. Similar to that. Any impurity or purity, if it is contaminated, that has to be tested before using as well as during manufacturing also, before releasing the batch to the market. They have to check. The people are not, the company is not taking this what will happen. Like we lost 40 life of children. So, analytical also very important for testing of quality control department. There, the test assay what is available. So we are saying 100 milligram. When you buy a medicine, what is that? What they say? Dosage. Yeah. Paracetamol. What is the paracetamol dosage normally we buy? 500, 650 dolo. Like that. How do you know the 500 milligram is there in that? If company is not testing, or they are testing it is less, so they are writing like that. Or also we know parallelly lot of in Delhi there is a market, pharmaceutical market. That they say when they tested a lot of samples, they found 10% of medicines are fake. You know, without medicine also they pack and sell. Even sometimes some years before we heard about some of the expiring material, they erase the stamping and put a new one sell in the market. That kind of things should not happen. That is the reason the industry, regulatory agencies are very vigilant. We are playing with the people's life. So the testing type of assay, purity and impurity. As I said, the dietary mechanism is for taking care of 44 children's life. There are a lot of instruments they use for testing chromatography, spectroscopy, optical rotation, optical purity by trial chemistry, particle size. This is also very important. So what type of particles? Nanoparticles or bigger particles. How the particles we are taking in a medicine and releases a medicine to the action. These are very important. Particle size of the medicine also important. So we have to test the particle size and dissolution. This is also important. When we are taking a tablet, how it is dissolving. Whether it is dissolved within 1 hour or it is 1 day. Probably maybe a sustainable release. See, previously we used to take one medicine one time. Nowadays medicines are not that kind of thing. Also there is a medicine you cannot take 3 times a day, or sometimes people are taking 4 times. They make us one tablet to take give a releases by 4 times. So one tablet gives the entire 24 hours release. So that kind of things to test it. The dissolution has to be tested. How the product is dissolved when giving active test. Then inorganic impurities salts, the metal contents like arsenic or lead. We know some of the things containing the iron impurities are more lead because they are using a metal product. That kind of things also to be tested there. Crystal structure is also another important thing. Different polymer. Different polymers have a different activity in a therapeutic activity. Sometimes some of the polymer will not work in our body. Specific polymer body will act. Some of the polymer will not dissolve in our body, so it will not be useful. Such kind of things are there. So crystal structure also important. Serial chemistry has to be tested by yourself. Thermography, DSC also technique for testing of tests. Other conventional testing, titration, thermometric, solubility, turbidity, pH, melting point, viscosity, circulation. These are all people, the students should aware. Why I'm saying this. These are the basic things they should understand. What is the purpose of testing? Each analysis. We say pH. What is the weight in pH? But it plays a very major role in chemical as well as stability and also absorption in the body also needs the pH. Looks simple. The testing instruments, there are different type of testing instruments available for testing of purity as well as assay. Some are things pH meter, calorimeter, polarimeter, spectrometer, titrators, analyzers, particle size, and dissolution. This is a very important instrumentation technique. Any industry, any chemical industry. Specifically, HPLC. Without HPLC, I think any chemical industry will not work so easy. Gas chromatography and gel permeation angle. These are chromatography. Actually, the students must aware the chromatography. When we interview some of the people, we find it difficult to get answers from them. Forget about chromatography. We see people with MSc chemistry are able to explain pH. I'm not too far with the institutional this, but these are realities. You see, that's why I think that all the professionals expressing their opinion on current students. And another important area is spectroscopy, that we must know the chemical instrumentation application, the different type of spectrophotometers visible, FTIR, mass spectra, NMR, AS, etc. I think it's only the chemistry or physics student when purposes of students will be knowing. But it is interesting is even what you do in a gold, how you check the purity of the gold. Carat meter, what is the carat meter? That is called XRF. XRF, you know X-ray radius. There are the instruments working with the principle of XRD, X-ray diffraction. X-ray diffraction is instrument. That gold carat meter is called XRF. Yes, exactly. That is used for just for this. But these all kind of instruments are relevant for testing of chemicals. And when we test, the person who is testing should know what is the purpose of the chemical. This what we have to teach, or the students should learn. When they are testing a material, they should know what the purpose of the testing. For example, we know purity is what we test, we know, our content. The impurities or undesired chemicals in the material is impurities, whatever it is. Structural conformation, specific locations are chiral structures, loss of drying on water. How much water is present? These are very basic. How to test the water and what is the content to determine the chemicals. Residual elimination, what is inorganic salts? Suppose the organic will go by ash and inorganic will be in the mass, etc. And also the stability. Whether the product is stable over a period. Here they are giving expiry dates at 2 years. At particular temperature. We know some of the products are stable in the room temperature, some of the products are not stable in the room temperature. How to be aware? When the COVID period, the Pfizer vaccines, what is the temperature? They stored at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, that product is unstable. That is not useful. Even most of the vaccines in the pharmacy also they keep in the fridge. Normal chemical as well as vaccines. One of the important, we also should know when we take the vaccines. Some of the vaccines they keep in the fridge, and if you go to the pharmacy or small hospital, powerful small happen, whether they have a backup, DG, if they don't have, the product losses potential, the purpose. So when we take a specifically, I recommend or I can suggest, when we take the vaccines, we do the market loss to avoid systematic. Then we have to maintain it with the backup power and maintain it storage. Otherwise, it loses the potency just by injecting water or some chemical in the body. It is not, it will not work for our body. That's where the stability is important. Where they are assigning a stable based on temperature. As I said, regulatory professionals, they are well versed, they should well versed in technical rating. Once we develop a product, they have to document what are the way we have developed, how they manufacture, how this to be tested, how the stability to be maintained. All this will make us called that was the fight. The dossier. You have to submit to the regulatory agency. Then only they accept that we have to properly all the work. And we are following during the manufacturing, they are the same way which given the document to regulatory agencies. So they, the regulatory should know knowledge of chemical rate, and also they know the rules and regulations of various services and guidelines. Each and every activity there are some guidelines. It's not like the rules, guidance or rules. And they also know chemistry, processing, testing, control knowledge and communication. So they are also very important, though they are a smaller group of people in pharma, they are very important. Like research and research, then regulatory also. When it comes to the employment, are the students mostly industries? The employment is available plenty for candidates. Today, even today, companies are struggling to get trained members or talented members. It's not, though we say yes, then is yes, there are thousands of lakhs of students are coming out of the institutes, either they be engineers or science graduates, whether they have required knowledge and skill for take up. That is the biggest challenge. Even we find it difficult to get a school, get the professionals. Students get a training, then after become a professionals and work in different area of what is specifically farmer is struggling for getting ready. See, the expert says, as per survey, 60% industrial experts or leaders express their comment that the limited availability of specific talent. How much percentage of persons are suitable for job? In IT companies, they say, this is not my word, IT professionals say 40% of engineers will be capable of taking the job in IT. Maybe they might be that much bad in science areas, but little more higher, but still the students lacking the competence. The expectation, the experts emphasize, the people who commented that talent people is not available, they comment that the industry should provide internship opportunities. They're told, but reality is happening. Industry they are restricted to take up internship. Academy should collaborate with the industry to develop a specialized skills. Maybe by internship or by inviting skilled professionals or training the people. As I said initially, most of the top Indian companies have a tie-up with big IT companies. They give a training before I can say campus interview. They also give a training and they evaluate and take the talent developers are pressing need for regulatory. That is, the people also should come up, are willingness to take up this and the change in the culture, mindset, and the skills, accept the skills. And also, not only technical, also personal development. And this is all institution also should do that with very collaboratively. What kind of knowledge to teach students? For chemistry students, the foundation for chemistry, the strong foundation is required and depth in organic, inorganic, analytical, and non-analytical. Understanding the chemical reaction mechanism, structural installation, bonding, thermodynamics, these are detailed. May not be going to other than chemistry professors. But this same way you can extend to other science area. The purpose to design a new chemical, exactly innovative polymers, analysis, calculation, etc. should be taught. And not only knowledge, also practical experience they should acquire. The practical experience, right, over the laboratory as well as internship, or say smaller. So there are some programs available. In Madras University, they are conducting a 1 month training program for students, specifically first year MSc students, chemistry students. I am not in other area. I don't know much. They are conducting 1 year, 1 month training course during vacation. Including they are doing some type of. And also there are some this kind of industrial training available in government giving such kind of training. If you need, I can share this that you need to use this process. Then the practical experience in R&D, the chemical efficiency, process operation, manufacturing process, as I said, scale up and manufacturing, unit operations, analytical result development, validation, analysis, instrument, characterization, and knowledge about the principle, basically principle, theory, and instrumentation and application. These are the area for each type of analysis instrument. Industrial application, applying the knowledge. See, knowledge, people get, as I said, people have a lot of knowledge. Whether the knowledge converted into a result, that is where we are having a lot of problem. As I said, patents. We have a lot of patents, whether our patents are useful for commercialization. So, when we take a curriculum, we have the academic college, so you should also think about how going to be useful for industries. Such kind of curriculum, probably one paper you can adopt. Not only core chemistry, but also other areas they give. Analytical theories. As I said, only chemistry is not alone sufficient for expertise in the professional, also needs other thinking. So learning is not only memorizing formula, balancing equation, it just makes problem solving and critical thinking. Creating experiments, analyzing data, identifying these are the data analytics, process efficiencies, science-based decision making, problem solving. In between some reaction stops or it's not obvious, what should be done? But the chemists know that how they have to run the reaction. Design of experiment, format hypothesis and troubleshooting. And also, not only by doing something, but specifically needs the regulations. The limitations there, how to do what. Interdisciplinary skills. The students should learn interdisciplinary skills or cross-disciplinary knowledge, because industry is not one particular industry they work only chemistry. They have to work with multiple other professionals. Say like, if you are, as I said, clinical study is not about chemistry, so there is a pharmacy management, doctors, engineers, IT professionals, all are required. They have to work together. So, the person should know how to work in a team and how to make up the interdisciplinary principles. Suppose you have one leader is a chemistry graduate or leader is a biotechnology. How they have to work with all other professionals, getting the information and taking the decision. So, that is important when working in the multidisciplinary projects. Including environmental chemistry is all required. Next one is the teamwork and interpersonal skills. Say here the teamwork and interpersonal is very important. As a leader, if the individual may be a very excellent knowledge person, is very good in synthesis or is very good in new molecules, but if is lacking in leadership, then whole team cannot be taken. So teamwork and leadership is very important. A team is like a bridge by they to build a stacker. And a team consists of different levels. Each vary from, say, ground level worker to CEO. So the team leader should aware how to take up the or work with the different level of people. Also, different cross-functional teams like biochemistry or biotechnology or pharmacy or doctors. So, when we are doing a multidisciplinary projects, they are working with a different professionals. They should work teamwork. Sometimes we see in our own institute, the teamwork is lacking. Individually, they are very capable. When it comes to a team, the team fails. We see no cricket or any sports. Without teamwork, then what is? So leader, team member must have a capability to collaborate with the different professionals and also they should have synchronization. If the person says, no, I am a leader, I am more knowledgeable, what is the worker or the person is saying, I am a result leader, then that's the end of the project. So, the teamwork, interdisciplinary is very important. Learning and adapting is very important. Soft skill, communication. The communication, written, oral, and interpersonal skills, writing, technical reports are needed. They should learn the communication. The ability to express ideas. They may be having a lot of ideas. They cannot be able to deliver or say how they are formulating and giving the report. You also know sometimes your presentation. As I said, I am not a good lecturer. You are a good lecturer. You know how to give the information to students. I may be having knowledge in chemistry, but ultimately the lecture is what the students perceive the knowledge. That's where the crux of it. So the ability to communicate in a team or even a project and express the ideas, information clearly, and also they should listen actively and present their presentation. In industry, the working alone or team, achievement or success, proper preparation of reports, presentations. Otherwise, it will be like paper or it will be one idea, sleeping ideas. That's it. Deliver insights to stakeholders clearly, concisely, explain with authentic scientific. So, the communication also play a role as when who was as a leader and take up the lead role. And also others soft skills required adaptability, time management, emotional intelligence, project management, conflict resolution. These are all, it's not very new thing to tell you. You are professors, you know what are the things. Students also should have this soft skill when they are coming out of these. Not last, but not least, that's the conflict method is also very important. Man, any professionals today without computer, I know, without everything, mobile is everything is working. I think without mobile, even 5 years old, why is working with are seeing mainly with the Android phones. So today, computer field is very important to use creative purpose. And we are living in the era of artificial intelligence. So the purpose is general software, that is MS software or whatever it is, and also specific chemical softwares for modeling, simulations. Some of the special softwares are available, and also networking softwares. Some of these are there, like SQL and so on. These are also very important to work with. Data analysis to handle a lot of generated data, processing of data, analysis, and interpret large data sets using statistics are also important to learn some of the basic computer language. The expectation, yes, the predicted from the experts over 15 years, the employment project could be around 10 million jobs in chemical pharmacy. So, train them coordinate the industries and make these students usable to or get the job. That's it. You have to know about some of the major pharma industries. These are the major pharma industries in India. These are the business of pharma Sun Pharma is 4,30,000 crore company series. It's a Texas is the top 10 companies. Thank you. So as you people know IT or this in US or pharma, so there are a lot of big people owning the major multinationals like what's nothing much. Nobody's say like $40 billion. Nobody's company CEO of CEO is from Chennai. And in addition to that, there is another company also worth out of that is from Indian CEO. And even the highest regulator that I said, US. There are a lot of Indians are working in government job of US regulatory authorities. They are designed to be state authorities. There are several. Here there are Tamils. So not only that, there are several companies acquired in US. They are running business in US. There are several Indian chemistry graduates or science graduates or pharmacists working in US in pharma. As I other industries are not much knowing about this. IT is well known. As I said, pharma also equally growing and spreading their wings across. In WHO, regulatory authorities, India, other than India. What's possible? Only I am not going whether it's useful to you. Maybe other people maybe involved in science graduate, science professors, chemical professors, interesting. Other persons not very much interested. Yeah, or you need the institution to develop the students to make them ready for market. Taking up the job, not market business, not just to selling, but they have to excel in the industry, taking up the job without us, they have to work and grow. And in pharma industry also the payment, the employment and the salary also very well paid industry. It's not like other three people they are paying as the expert. R&D, it's not getting 1 crore per annum. It's very hard. Anything? Yeah, I am available for any clarification or notes. You can contact me or you can contact me anybody better for any kind of information or support from industry. As a knowledge. For chemic, there is a difficult, of course, there is a problem in taking up the job or industrial jobs are very less compared to many other countries. If you see other countries, they are not a problem. In went to China, China see at least 30% of people working in chemical. In 100 people are working, 30 of the ladies are doing 70, almost the ratio approximate. But India is the audio. Maybe not one methodology of working or considered thinking. See, simple. Even we have a restriction in the sense taking up more ladies. They see that yeah they can work in a simple. Okay, they are ready to work. Another parents are. So certain places, if say like a regulatory, yes, there are a lot of regulatory remedies about it. But in a manufacturing area, testing, yes. In other countries, even in Singapore, I see people are working. I mean, some of the countries I see people are working in even ARCOT manufacturing. The general manager of the company is there. We have some kind of. General manager is not sitting in the office. They are working in the field or shift, giving direction to people. These are certain disadvantages in our system. You have to break it. Make them knowledgeable, skilled, so that it is easy to attend the industry. Maybe it may not in a one few decades will change. You know, the people are there is a pilot, they are working in the army, working in the everything is happening. But that's not possible. You have to develop the skilled, technical, and knowledgeable people and send them for. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me to give a share my knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your thought-provoking session on the importance of bridging educational institutions with industry, as well as the expectations of industries from the educational sector. So thank you, sir. I invite our DP ma'am to honor our resource person with certificate of appreciation.
Thank you.
Invite Mrs. E. Susitra Ma'am, Head Department of Business Administration, to propose the vote of thanks for the day. Good evening to everyone present here. It is my privilege and pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to on this special occasion of our faculty development program. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. A. Amsabel, Vice President and Quality, Maladi Drugs and Ronipet. Your insightful address and valuable solutions and inspiring words have truly enriched this program. In my heartfelt thanks to our Chairman Sir, Vice Chairman Ma'am and Secretary Sir for providing a continuous support, encouragement and guidance in the organizing this faculty development program successfully. A special thanks to our appreciation to our IPSC coordinator Ma'am and also the IPSC team dedicated to efforts planning and teamwork have made this event grand success. I also extended warm thanks to all faculty participants, technical staff and support staff, and also everyone who worked out behind the scene to ensure smooth conducted on this faculty development program.